Hello and welcome back to Toxic, the podcast where we examine poisonous pop culture moments. I am one of your media experts and pop culture junkies, Leia, and I'm joined as ever by co-host.
Stalina.
And Charlena, we are pulling
Well,
sort of double duty, right? Sorry?
yes. So yesterday, because of all of the hubbub around the P. Diddy allegations that Casey Ventura lodged at him, we recorded a podcast, or episode regarding that. And basically, as soon as we finished, it came out that a settlement had already happened. And so, that's clearly a significant update. So we thought, okay, we're going to have to pop back on and do a part two um, to kind of just, flush this story out a little bit more because there has been new development. So
Yeah,
I'm sure
huge development, right? Yeah.
yeah, a lot of new huge developments. So just a quick recap.
Please.
Cassie Ventura, who I thought she'd only dated him for a couple years, but she dated P. Diddy for about almost a decade, they said. And of course she was a songbird. She had a few hits. I think her biggest hit made it to maybe number two on the top 100 Billboard, and I think she had three or four good hits though, and she was signed on his label, and she dated him for 10 years, and she filed a civil suit on Thursday, November, I think that was this, what is this, the 18th, the 17th maybe. Um,
Yeah.
just this previous Thursday, she filed a civil lawsuit against him, alleging that he beat her, he controlled every aspect of her professional and personal life, he raped her, he
Plied
forced
her with
her,
drugs.
plied her with drugs and alcohol, put her in this like very paced lifestyle, that he forced her against her will to have sex with male sex workers.
Awful. Just awful.
Oh, and that he beat her. So yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of allegations. And of course he came out and said that she had been trying to blackmail him for $30 million, and that um now she was filing a lawsuit with these baseless and outrageous claims and trying to tarnish his reputation
Oh
and
my
get a
goodness.
payday. So that's what he said. So I don't know when he said that. Maybe he said that on Thursday, the day she filed it, but um I would say almost less than 24 hours later, he settled with her.
What a
Um
different tune indeed.
yeah, and what's interesting is, so I do want to, oh gosh, I thought I had it pulled up, but here we are. So when the lawsuit was first filed, and it was a civil lawsuit, not a criminal lawsuit, Cassie's lawyer said that Mr. Combs offered Miss Ventura eight figures to silence her and prevent the filing of the lawsuit. She rejected his efforts and decided to give a voice to all women who suffer in silence. Miss Ventura should be applauded for her bravery. So that was Thursday, and then cut to Friday. There's now been a settlement. And so they both released statements that were um, fairly similar, but she said that she basically said that they reached this agreement amicably. She thanked her fans, she thanks her family and her friends for their support. And then he
Hmm.
said that they reached this decision amicably and that he wished her all the best. So that's the latest.
All's well
What
that ends well, huh?
I mean, well, what do you think? What do you think? You know what? It's funny because I want to pull up his lawyer said something. I
Hmm.
want to, because this is the other thing. No, I want to go back to this. She also said
Yeah,
that he
please.
was prone to uncontrollable rage and subjected her to numerous savage beatings where he punched, kicked, and stomped on her. And this is the thing. And I hate that I ever do things like this where I like parse like levels of abuse. But I'm sorry. For me personally, and maybe I need more internal work, there are levels. And I think a man who can put his foot on a woman, who can kick a woman, I do. I think it's worse than hitting. I do. Anyway.
It definitely shows some disdain, right? And the intent to truly do harm as opposed to just having a violent outburst, which also inappropriate, obviously, right? But They are
Right.
different things.
Yeah. Yeah, they
Right? One
are.
is a burst of rage, and another is trying to inflict real harm and damage on someone. I actually
And
think there's a
possibly kill
component of
them.
I think there's a component of trying to destroy their beauty a little bit because there have been allegations about
Oh.
the we know her I think someone said Azalea. Wait, who's that crazy rapper that that always says the controversial stuff? This is Azalea Banks, right? Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Azalea Banks said, I'm like para paraphrasing, para quoting. I'm quoting her,
Yeah.
but not directly. But not directly. She said that he once beat her in the face so bad, and she was, kind of bruised and puffy and swollen and bloody, and he had to send her to Hawaii for 3 weeks to heal, so no one could see her face.
Oh,
Um,
that's right. Yeah.
there's something I think there's a component of like I don't know if the beauty makes him angry or if he just likes to destroy beauty. There's something to that where like, because you do like men who are abusers, they hit people pretty indiscriminately. But there's something that he seems to. So we're going to talk about it a little bit later, but I'll just bring it up now that there's allegations that he broke. Not even allegations; they're literal headlines from way back in the day, maybe 2007 or something.
Mhm.
That he was on vacation with the mother of his twin girls, Kim Porter, who we know died a few years ago under interesting and mysterious circumstances, that they were on a yacht in Saint Tropez. And it's funny, I was listening to another blogger, podcaster talk about this incident, and she said that they got in a fight, they got in a physical altercation, or he hit her rather. I mean, how he's a man, much stronger than her. He was physically violent with her on this yacht. And when I went to look the story up, the headlines, mind you, like not like you had to read into the story. The headlines were Sean Combs breaks Kim Porter's nose on a boat on
Mhm.
it, just horrifying. There's like he seems to be trying to sort of mar them a little bit. So
Mm.
and
Ugh.
there's some allegations for like one of his other the girlfriends before Cassie or between maybe Cassie and J Lo. So anyway, sorry, yeah, didn't want to derail us, but I think that's kind of interesting that there's something very very sinister beneath the already sinister actions.
My goodness. So I want to ask, what do you think by the fact that this was
They
settled so
settled.
quickly? I've never heard of a lawsuit being
Yeah.
filed and settled in less than 48 hours. So what do you think the implications are of that?
I was talking to a lawyer friend today, and I wish I applied her more for this. But this isn't necessarily her specialty. But she does deal with lightly with things of this nature. And yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean a person's guilty, but it certainly seems like it. Yeah, it does seem like it. And like all speculation, right? My personal speculation, but I think a lot of people's personal speculation would be that would be super dangerous for him to let it go to court because girlfriend's got receipts, and not
That I
just
mean,
receipts, but witnesses, and can pull like long receipts and witnesses for years. You know, all kinds of things are going to come out. So yeah, I think he was, in a way, he was smart, and in a way, what's coming is inevitable.
yeah, I think it I mean, I'm I think it means he's guilty as sin. I do.
Yeah.
I think the fact that he would settle that quickly, I think he's
After already
terrified.
denying her, right?
Mm-hmm.
After already denying her, right? And trying to
Yeah.
and try to pay her off with much less before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's a significant turn in fate.
And like, so what she said too is that she's decided to resolve this on terms that she has some level of control. Because I could see, and I would never say, I mean, I don't believe this at all, but I do know how the news cycle works, how the manosphere sometimes work, and how I imagine people are going to start saying, like, oh, she just wanted a payday. Like, see, she just went. So let's be clear, in a civil lawsuit, that's all you can get anyway, is a payday.
Thank you. People do need to understand that. Yeah, yeah. People have very limited understanding of things, and I think it's because they hate women, right? And they want to say things like that. That she just gold digging, but like she literally has no other legal recourse at this point.
Right. And of course, I do understand, like, initially she was saying, like, yes, let's have this all out. But it is very traumatizing to go through any sort of legal procedure. Um, you're going to be
Yeah.
dragged. This is now it's resolved. She can truly, truly move on. And she has done her part into like
Yes.
adding to the narrative, speaking her truth, um, showing who and what he is. Now, of course, I mean, I guess, well, we're not like a news station, but we would be remiss to say that he also continues, his lawyer also said, even though he settled, that is by no means him admitting um allegations, and he denies them. And I would also, it was probably at least, I'm hoping it was at least $30 million or more. Um, and I think it's important to point out that she was also suing for like lost wages, and think because
Mm-hmm.
remember, she pretty much left the music business.
Yeah. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
So
Yeah, sorry.
yeah, she said compensatory. Oh Lord, I butchered. Never mind.
And I
Compensatory
almost said it for you, and
damages.
then I got myself confused. Yeah.
I still didn't say it right. Whatever. Lost wages, earning, and all other sums of money. Uh, and of course, mental pain and anguish. So yeah, I think Mr. Diddy is
Yeah, I
probably
think he's
pretty
probably.
guilty.
I would agree with that. I would. Yeah, and it certainly makes him look guilty, right? And I'm
Yeah.
glad she did save herself the anguish of going through court. We know that, going to court is stressful, even if it's for a traffic ticket. Just court in itself is stressful. Having to relive a traumatic experience that that details are, if it's not televised, they're definitely going to get out. Um, and you're going to be cross-examined, and people are going to be kind of nasty to you and trying. We know what they do with women, right? And
Mhm.
try to slut shame, and which would be so interesting. I almost did want to see that part because she was a child when this first started. She was 19 years old, a
Mhm.
literal teenager. So how much slut shaming could you do? I think, in fact, if they did do slut shaming, it would really actually prove her case, right? Because the only people she'd been with are him and the people who he allegedly forced her to be with, right? Like, so I was kind of curious, like, how would the slut shaming go this time? Because it's going to be a lot harder, right? Like, you didn't give yourself a lot of wiggle room, sir.
Oh goodness,
It's
yeah.
not a lot. So, you
What
know,
else?
mhm.
Oh no, I don't want to like finish your thought.
Oh, that was it. That was it. I was going to move on to, like this. I think this happened so quickly. A, because he's guilty, but also B, because as something you pointed out, she got a lot of receipts, right? Like this is not. I'm not going to say a slam dunk because I'm sure they would have fought back, but there's a lot to point to that would really make him look bad. So, yeah. What were
Yeah,
you
and
going to
she's
say?
also protecting her family in the
Yeah.
sense that you go to court, these things are on record for posterity. And I don't know if her parents are still alive or, siblings, or she has children. And it's just like, even if it's something that you may have shared with them already or will share with your children when they're older or whatever, it's something different to just have it out there in the media, just and could possibly pop up anywhere at any time. So she's also protected her privacy in some ways. And I applaud her for that. I think it's great. I think
Yeah.
it's a great move. I think it's great that she settled. I think her
Yeah.
work, she's done enough. Her
Yes.
work
I
here is
keep,
done.
yeah, in my notes I wrote down like she did her duty. Like she really, and we really needed to talk about that. Like what she has done. I think that for me, I'm happy to move to the next super salient point that I think that we need to make, which is like to really hone in on what she's done. What she's done, it's as perfect as it can get under the circumstances, right? Like she really didn't have a lot of legal recourse. She was under the gun. To quickly remind people, there is a law like that sort of extended the statute of limitations of being able to sue someone for crimes of, I don't know if it was specifically a sexual nature, but like abuse sort of claims, and it's expiring at some point this coming week. And so she was under the gun to either do this or to literally hold her peace for forever. So this is a big deal that she did this, that it worked out for her, that she does not have to further traumatize herself in the public eye in that way. She will be hounded by this for the rest of her life. People will have questions, but, no matter how this all plays out for him in the end. But yeah, she did save herself that trouble, that extra trouble. She's got certainly a lot to work through. But, and like you said, all the things you said, but also what she's done really is enough by being the biggest name, and so boldly and so in such detail pointing out the ways that she was victimized. It is such a gift to all the other women that he has ever hurt, and that he probably continues to hurt, right? Like it's
Mm-hmm.
I think this phrase came to my mind, and I guess it turns out 50 Cent also said it. There's blood in the water now,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
and now it's gonna happen. Like I think a lot of these men really escape a total downfall a lot of the time, right? Like they either buy their way out of it or just kind of disappear. Like Russell Simmons, I think he disappeared into the jungles of like Costa Rica or something, right? Like he just never to be seen again. um Except to stir up trouble with his daughters and prove that he was problematic all along, right? And just prove people's points. So sometimes we see them escape, but then we see people like Harvey Weinstein, right? Who as someone else pointed out, like did take that gamble, did decide instead of paying the women off as he probably should have, right? Oh no, he really felt like he was high and mighty, he was going to get away with it. And then what do we see his ass? We know we saw him having to
He's gonna die in prison.
have these right, but you're right, but even before that, the humiliation of like his foe, like the limping and the frailness, and right, like the theatrics that he brought to court, and then ending up in jail anyway. So I think what she's done is amazing. I think so much more is going to come out. Like
Well,
it's
and
really
tell
just,
us why you
yeah,
think that.
because well, two super interesting things that everyone's talking about. I can't say like come across them and they're so secret, but they're just so interesting. So number one is we got to talk about Little Miss Aubrey O'Day. I keep saying the wrong way. She was a member of his all girl super group back in the day, back in the early, was it 2000s? And it was a TV show, right? So it was like a making the band style thing, but with women this time. And he sourced these singers, and he was, the usual abusive. And that was, very of the time, right? These music shows, or these shows where someone was like cobbling together some sort of creative project with people, and they're pretty abusive to, we're watching Tyra Banks get lampooned recently for the way that she treated people as that were guests on her show. So she has been very active since the very beginning, saying that they were being mistreated, saying that they had bad contracts and they weren't properly compensated. She actually claims that for I think their second record, she got no dollars from it, and it made several $1 million. And so I don't know how true that is. Like I didn't have time to quite look that up, and I don't know if you can actually substantiate that. But she claims that they didn't get paid at all. So that is a bit concerning, right? She's been very active, and she sort of shouted her support for Cassie through this whole thing. And I think that, if she's able to, there should be a lawsuit. One very cool thing that she did was, most of his artists have complained that they have signed away their rights, don't have rights to their music, have unfair deals, did not get paid, like lots of labor issues. And he would never let most of these artists have their masters, or have, the rights to their music, or even their name, right? Like if they had a group name, or even if the group was under their name. So recently he decided that he would give some of them. He sort of sent something out, a new thing giving them their rights, and it had it had a stipulation that they basically had to sign an NDA. And there's actual tape of Aubrey calling other people up, bands that she's not a part of, and telling them do not sign that document, because she kind of knew what was coming. She knew that this was that this is going to blow wide open, and you do not want to give away your rights. So I think that's so interesting. She tried to protect other people. She could see the big picture. She knew stuff was coming. That was really interesting. Another person who saw stuff coming was this incredible psychic who do you still have her name written down?
Oh, I think, would she say it was Bella?
Bella, yeah,
I'll
something
find
Bella.
it.
This woman, out of the blue, back 5 months ago in June.
Sorry, that was me trying to pull her up. What's her name? Let me get this.
Okay, I'll continue. You let me know when you find it. This is a woman who can see people from on the other side, apparently, and she was talking. She claims to Kim Porter, Diddy's, one of the mothers of his tribe of some of the children in his tribe, and she was saying that Kim was telling her things, and basically she predicted that there would be big news about Sean Combs, and she literally named a date. She said November 15th, and we found out about it November 17th. But yeah, pretty much right on the money that she said that some things would be coming to light, and that it was just going to be the beginning. And it is actually pretty fascinating. Like everything she says seems to be happening. So that was
Right. And she predicted this in June of 2023 is when she said Kim was speaking to her, or she was channeling her or something, and that things were going to be coming out, and that she was very happy about it. And yeah, and just more things. So keep posted, everybody. This is a lot going on. It's actually very startling. Very,
it
very
is very
startling.
startling. Yeah, the last yeah, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was going to say the last interesting detail that I wanted to point out was people have been talking about white nail polish, and it's something that Aubrey kind of mentioned before. Like she offhandedly said, "I didn't take the white nail polish deal, and that's why he wanted to torpedo my career." Because I guess it did mention that he also kind of like blocked her from opportunities, and spoke bad about her in the industry and made sure she really couldn't really work. She has an OnlyFans now.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. And she makes the rounds on all the, and she, like I said, relentlessly talking about this for a little over a decade now. But so she referenced this white nail polish thing, and it is actually in Cassie's, would you call it a deposition? Like whatever that her legal document filing this lawsuit, it mentions that he would make her wear white nail polish so it would look good in contrast against the black male prostitutes that he forced her to sleep with. And so it's this interesting little detail. People went back and see that she's usually wearing white nail. Not usually. I don't know if that's true, but like in a lot of things, she's wearing white nail polish. And what's really interesting is one of the women we know about that he's in relationship with right now is Carisha from the City Girls, a rap duo out of Miami. And she not only has been seen wearing white nail polish, as people go back in photos and see these things, but she's actually rapped about it on an album that the City Girls dropped about a month or two ago. So I don't know, they're just like little pieces that people are now getting to look back on. They're like almost like little disgusting Easter eggs, for
I'm
people to
so
discover.
annoyed. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
obviously disgusted, but I'm also annoyed because I actually like to wear white nail polish in the summer, and now I feel like I don't want to anymore.
No, I think we're gonna have to get over it because he's got his all white party, and we're all just gonna have to just be brave, wear white, and try not to think about it. So anyway, some really interesting developments. This is obviously going to keep going and going and going, and I don't know how it's gonna work out for this man, but yeah.
Well, and I think not just these rape and abuse allegations and just all these other things that are coming out, like did he kill Kim? Did he put a hit on or was he part of like Tupac's death and just other things? It's just like he's depraved.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like if these are true. And it makes me really sad because why, like for instance, Suge Knight, I'll use him as a good example. I think anybody who has more than a few brain cells to rub together can see him and look at him, and it just, to me, he just exudes kind of evil and like something sinister about him.
Yeah.
I
There's a
just feel
menace
like
to
it
him.
jumps out of his aura. I don't get that with Diddy, P. Diddy, Puff Dad, whatever the hell his name is now,
Brother love.
Brother
Yeah.
Love. And so, and I'm sad that if he is as sinister as that we couldn't all pick up on it. I don't know.
Yeah.
What's wrong with us? Why can't we sense it?
I think he's just really also very charismatic, and he knows people like to party and they like, nice champagne. I think he's got sometimes tacky taste, but sometimes really good taste, right? Like he likes the finer things. I think he sells the dream, and not necessarily that we're buying the dream, but like, yeah, he's doing happy things. Those are things that I would do if I had money.
Okay.
His life seems like it would be fulfilling enough. You're not going to go dig further for like, what's the sinister underbelly? Like the man's living it up and on yachts and having fun.
Yeah,
But it
well,
turns out, yeah.
Yeah, looks like all that fun might come to a stop for him, and it should.
Yeah, I hope
Oh,
so. I could see it going either way. A lot of these men, I mean, he'll never be the same, right?
right.
I think his music will probably be kind of, banned in some places, and he's going to be a pariah. But I don't know that he's going to lose it all. Who knows? But he could. I could really go. We'll see. We'll see what comes out. Who else can be brave? What other stories they have? I think we have. He's such a famous person. There's a lot of footage. There's a lot of stuff that people can review, and people will be reviewing. I do want to say that for anyone who is into pop culture in that way, the way that we are, if you look back at some of the headlines, even from like the raggiest tabloids from the day, from back in the day, they are talking about all of this stuff. It's actually astonishing. So,
Oh,
with the
wow.
whole Will Smith thing and Jada Pinkett, I've been going back and reading stuff from back then, and everything they're talking about now was alleged in headlines in tabloids back then. Those tabloids, you guys, were always weirdly kind of telling the truth. Maybe not the ones that said that Elvis came back and gave birth to a bat boy. Maybe not that, but
You
yeah,
must
some
use
of
your
the
discernment.
right. You do discern, but yeah, there's some truth to the ones that were not outlandish. Those headlines. So anyway, I thought that was super interesting, and that is a fun deep. If you're gonna fall down a rabbit hole, go in that direction and look at some of the stuff from back in the day. You'll be astonished with how spot on things are.
Well, this just goes to show you that it's never a good look to put celebrities on a pedestal, or even humans. Maybe it's not just celebrities, but humans, period.
Maybe not, maybe humans, but I think celebrities, we're prone to do that. We're set up to do that. The news cycle does that for us. We don't have royalty in this country, and so
Right.
celebrities, yeah, and you shouldn't look up to them either. But in the absence of that, this is what our media pushes on us, right? Is the
Hmm.
people who star in our little fantasy things. And yeah, we've got to stop looking up to them really for anything.
I mean, he
Maybe
told us, I guess, who he was, right? He said, "Oh no, that's a different."
which one are
Wasn't
you
there a
thinking?
song, "Bad Boy for Life"?
That's him. Yeah,
Yeah, "Bad Boy for Life."
that's what his company's name.
BOS for life is what I'm sensing now. But whatever, maybe he'll get life. That's what he needs. That Mister needs to get life in prison if he did these things.
Yeah, yeah. He needs to go away for a very long time. So
Yeah.
we can't be kicking and punching women. We can't be dating teenagers as grown men. Like
We
we,
can't
we
be
need to say,
possibly offing our baby mama. I mean,
or anyone else, to be honest. Yeah, we're gonna need society to step in and start calling these things out, and men to call each other out, right? Like
yeah.
no more just men in power doing whatever they want. And what I think what we're learning is the women are going to have to stand up for themselves, and they're right. But that was very heartening that Cassie said that. Everything I saw after that was like, I believe Cassie, I believe Cassie, because you should.
Right.
And we need to support each other and her, and yeah, that as disgusting as all this is, it was very heartening to see that it was received with so much love and support. So
That's a great note to end on because that's
that's that
very
on that.
not toxic. Oh my gosh. So, if the story,
Very
as
not
it will,
toxic.
continues to develop, we will be back with more commentary.
That's right. And really, you can continue the conversation in our comments. Thank you so much for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.